Hello everybody, the Doctor here, and TypicalMangaFan and I on this episode are going to be discussing One Piece, chapter 782, Evil's Champion. And a quick side note before we start, this one I've seen like a few different versions of the title in different places, like Evil's Champion on Manga Stream, Evil's Charisma on Arlong Park, probably a couple others I haven't really seen right here. So this may be one of those cases where the title in the video is going to be different from what we're actually talking about right here. But it's not a huge thing. It comes up once in a while. But in this case, I think I have a pretty good feeling that's going to be what happens here.
It's pretty much about Doflamingo's a bad guy. That's pretty much what it is. Where he's like a king of evil.
Yep. But before we start on that, we see that Jinbei's having an after-arc party.
Yay!
Even Watatsumi's in there.
Yep.
Would he count as underage if he was drinking?
I guess the whole thing depends on like the body structure, like how the body is, the body functions are, and all that stuff.
He's so childless, but he has a beard.
Yeah, because I mean, they make the whole age thing based on physiology, because how fast you get drunk and all that. But I'll say this: if he gets drunk at that size, I don't know what he will do.
How powerful is that liquor?
Yeah, because if he's drunk, he destroy the place.
Hell,
unless Jinbei's there.
He did it while sober, without even trying.
Yeah, well, Jinbei's there. He can stop him.
And plus, we can always hope he's a happy drunk.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah. Anyway, the chapter opens properly with Luffy blocking Doflamingo's attempt to kill Law. It's like, why'd you stop me? All I was trying to do was smash Law's head in. Expletive deleted.
And then you see Luffy blocking his hockey stomp with his hockey foot with hockey on his foot as well.
Yep.
Because you can see both of them being covered in black, which is hockey.
Yep. And Treble even notes that it's a clash between conquerors hockey. Yeah.
So Treble's surprised that Luffy has it. And you see this big clash, and everything's just being destroyed on top of the castle. And there's one thing I've noticed here is for a power that's supposed to be 1 in a million. We haven't met a lot of people who have this power, the Conqueror's Haki. Well, keep in mind that they're in the second the second half of the Grand Line. So and many people even make it that far.
And that's why it makes sense, because that's what Haki is. It's before it got a proper name. Some translation of it was the word ambition. And the people who have this Conqueror's Haki are the ones who are either going to or are at the top of their game. We got Doflamingo, we have Hancock, we have Shanks. Presumably Whitebeard, but I don't know if they confirmed Conqueror's Haki with him.
Well, I mean, the thing with all these guys is that they're all in...
I wouldn't be surprised if Whitebeard didn't have it, in a way, because he was never really that ambitious in terms of what he was going after. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, I mean, the thing with all these guys and girls with Bo Hancock is that they're all either emperors or Shichibukai. Yeah. So in one way or another, they're in a position where they should have at least some type of hockey. Yeah. So it's not really surprising that we're meeting another guy with Conqueror's Haki, just simply because he's in the position where it would make sense. It's not like he's a random. It's not like these Conqueror Haki is just suddenly on the loose, Yeah. It's no, it's still isolated with just a few number of people.
Right.
And it's just so that Luffy is constantly, because remember, Luffy's always going to the area with the most difficult challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that he had the option of going to where do you want to go? Punk Hazard looks like the most dangerous. Let's go to that one.
Well, actually,
so it makes sense.
They were going to a different island than. They went to Punk Hazard, which wasn't even on the map, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Straw Smoker, because that's exactly what he was waiting for.
I think that, but it ended up being, I think, more dangerous anyway. Yeah. He always wants to go to the most dangerous one, so it would make sense that he would meet these guys more frequently.
Yeah, and personally, I have this little theory of my own that people with Conqueror's Haki are naturally drawn to each other.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's instinctive. It's not something that they are willingly going to do, but if there's two people with Conqueror's Haki around each other, they're going to be drawn to one another.
And with Boy Hancock, more literally than that.
Yeah. We have Shanks and Luffy. I mean, think about it. How many people have Luffy met personally? We have Shanks, Hancock. See, I don't know if Rayleigh had it or not, but
what did Ace have?
He did have it because we saw that in the flashback.
So, do you think it's also genetic among the D's? Maybe
that's possible. I mean,
I don't know about Jaeger D. Saul, but he didn't have much of a chance.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
yeah, and then also like we said, then we also got trying to think who else has the Conqueror Haki. You have Don Chin Zhao here. He had that. He had it.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. A second little theory of mine I've had kind of in the back of my head. I don't know how likely it is, or if it's been brought up that's proven incorrect one way or the other. But I have the theory that Blackbeard can't use Hockey for whatever reason. Like, he's incapable of it. I don't know if that would actually be possible or if it would make sense, but I don't know, it's just a little thought I used to have back when it was in the early days of figuring out what Hockey was.
Well, I don't know. Blackbeard is in every position to have it because I mean, like, maybe it's because of his darkness powers, where he basically is stealing other people's abilities rather than making his own.
Well, that's not a result of the darkness power, though. Like, not explicitly. Like, when he took Blackbeard, it was specifically said that his body was different than normal. So there's something about him that lets him do that. He wanted the devil fruit He did choose the devil fruit specifically, and I think he's like the only person I can think of in the entire series who specifically chose and went after a devil fruit.
Okay, so he actually had that power before getting the devil fruit.
Presumably, that's what's implied anyway.
Yeah, I don't remember that far. I have to look back to it because it seemed like the darkness powers was the reason. But it
was Marco who said it, though. It was Marco who said we've always known his body was unusual, and he didn't have his devil fruit power until after he left Whitebeard's crew.
Yeah, but what was unusual about his body? They
didn't specify.
Okay, exactly. So we don't have enough proof to say that it's one way or the other.
But given the source and the timing, it's likely not the devil fruit. But
because I just remember him using the shadow to cover Whitebeard and him doing something inside there, and he's like, "I got earthquake powers."
Yeah, they just used the like a tarp. That was all. It wasn't like a darkness specific thing. But also, moving along with that is the idea that I wonder if Blackbeard chose his devil fruit for that exact reason, like he couldn't use Hockey, because one of the powers is that it nullifies devil fruit powers when you're in contact with them. Like even Logia powers, which was the first time we'd ever really seen that before Hockey really came into play.
So what did you say about the carp thing? Like because I said something about him covering the Whitebeard's body. Was it just to hide everything while whatever he's doing inside was actually his own thing?
That's what I think anyway. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's never explicitly said that it's his devil fruit power, and given the person who says that Whitebeard is unusual, it's something that they would have known before he ever had his devil fruit power.
Well, I mean, like the thing about Blackbeard was that he at the same time that he also had he has the personality of a conqueror's Hockey. Like, he wants to conquer. He's a D, and he was even the one who inspired Luffy to follow his dreams. Like, in every way, he's like a corrupted D. He's like a D. You can tell that he's a D, but you could also say that maybe somewhere along his life he got corrupted along the way. You know?
Yeah, and like I said, that does make things like that. But I don't even know if it's even a legit theory. It's just something I've had in the back of my mind that for one reason or another he can't use Hockey, so his big plan focuses on finding ways around that.
Okay. Anyway, back to the chapter. Yeah. We get a flashback from Treble, and when he meets young Doflamingo, and he's like, he finds out that he has Hockey because everyone passes out.
Right.
And then basically it was actually Treble who gave him the devil fruit gave Doflamingo the devil fruit, basically to use strings and all that. And basically the guy who pretty much coached Doflamingo into doing bad stuff like killing his dad and stuff like that.
Yep. Well, he'd already killed his father, I think, by that point, didn't he?
No, he didn't. Because Treble was, remember when he killed his dad, Treble, Virgo, and Diamante were egging him on the sidelines while his brother was crying. Okay. They were already there.
Yeah, and we can see Virgo in the flashback too.
Yeah, Virgo. But they were the ones who coached him to kill his dad, and who coached him to basically do all this bad shit. So you can argue that in a way, he's the puppet master. Not in the way he sees it. He sees himself as just a servant. But arguably, everything is actually coming straight from Treble and the other executives.
And I actually had a bit of confusion on this chapter the first time I read it, but I'll get into that when we get to that point.
Okay. So anyway, they're fighting. So he's like, "You'll never be a match for him because he's cut from a different cloth. He's basically his birth fostered his madness, his fate invoked his rage, and he's the monolithic yaksha, which is like a Buddhist term for demon."
Yeah.
And
that's his nickname. They're Sky Demon.
Yeah, so they're basically saying, he's a royal noble and he has conqueror's Hockey. You can't beat him. He's above you. But Luffy's just basically saying no to that, and he's fighting. And so Doflamingo and Luffy are fighting with Hockey.
Yep. Throwing attacks back and forth, and that's the thing about Luffy. Like the comparison I've always made with Luffy and Zoro is that Zoro never quits, but Luffy never stops. So, if this was a Bleach chapter, this is where we would end it, but maybe not. Oh, no. Like, we've got, like... I'm going to count this real quick while you go on here. How many panels of actual action do we have within so many pages?
All right, you do that. I'm gonna.
You do. You count. No, I'm gonna start from the end of the flashback.
Okay. You want me to keep talking about the chapter?
Yeah. Just go and describe it. I'll kick in here one.
Okay, so Luffy keeps attacking Doflamingo. Doflamingo blocks, but then Luffy does a sidekick, basically, I think, or something like that, or a spinning sidekick, and kicks him right in the stomach, or the side, actually, is a better word. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. And then Luffy punches him in the face, uppercuts him, and he says Gomu no Eagle to basically try to finish him off.
Yeah, I don't know if this might be a mistranslation as well, if it was meant to be Hawk. But anyway, Also real quick, the count was roughly, like I said, I think I skipped one or two because I was counting in a hurry, but about 25 panels of action over the course of about 4.5 pages.
Yeah, I don't care about style or anything. That's definitely more work, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You cannot excuse Kubo's lack of panels for style, okay? There's just simply more work done in this chapter than it is in Kubo's chapters, and I don't think Bleach fans like to hear that, but that's reality.
Yeah.
So anyway, Luffy does Bazooka, too, and then he basically tries to pummel Doflamingo, but I think Doflamingo dodges. And
I think he dodges it, because you can see a little sound.
You see an after image.
Yeah.
And then they use Athlete Thread, which is a funny name.
Yeah. Basically, it looks like it's like a thread with Garrote strings attached to it.
The kanji reads as leg shaving thread.
Yeah.
Leg shaving. Interesting.
Yeah.
So Luffy blocks
Especially
that.
since he has such hairy legs himself.
Yeah. So Luffy blocks that. And let's see what else. And then boom,
it knocks
Luffy
him
gets
into Treble.
Yeah. And then Treble's got Luffy trapped. So Luffy can't move.
Yep.
And he's basically saying, okay, I'll keep Luffy down while you finish off Law. And then Luffy's trying to, hurt Treble, but as it turns out, it doesn't damage him, even though he has Haki. And Haki is supposed to be able to damage Logia users, which makes you wonder. And he puts down, he basically says, I'm not a Logia user,
Or it's more like...
Or he implies it.
Yeah, like, really, like, where was it here? It's like...
Am I really a Logia? That will work on me.
Yeah, there we go. I couldn't find the red bubble there.
Yeah. And
I love Law right here.
Yeah.
He basically just says, like, it's not really pointless. Fighting against that little paper mache is absolutely deleted. It's futile. I detested most the fact that if I sat on the heart seat, I'd have been lumped in with buffoons like that guy. And he's pretty much just pissing off Treble.
And Doflamingo, too.
Yeah, but Treble's the one I think he's actually trying to provoke here.
Well, I mean, remember Doflamingo has this thing about don't insult his family?
I think it depends on the nature of the insult there. Like, he'll go after Pika because he knows Pika's sensitive about that. But yeah, I see what you mean right there. But it's like, he wants to take note of the fact that Law's still talking back.
I forgot to mention that Pika was also there back when he was they were coaching Law to Doflamingo to kill his dad.
All four of them are there. Diamante too.
And then, basically... Let's see what happens. So, yeah, the Treble basically screams out, you're a pitiful excuse for an existence. We are the executives, the cornerstones of the family, blah, 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 blah. We're so awesome. And Luffy just can't move. Yeah. He's just saying, shut up, just quit it.
Yep.
And then, so, Treble is actually going to come... Oh, so Treble is pissed. Yeah. Treble's pissed, so he's going to try to finish off Law himself, I guess. And he's trying to drip all of his snot shit on Law. I don't know what the heck. It's snot, right? Was it like what is it again, specifically?
Wait, what is it?
What is the Treble's ability? Like it's snot, right?
It's like a sticky power, mucus power, something like that.
Yeah, but I think it's a snot more specifically. So basically they're saying that we groomed Doflamingo to be evil's champion, hence the title of the chapter. Basically saying that we were the ones who made Doflamingo the way he is. Like, he's the top of the food chain, and he's representing evil. He's everything that we want him to be. And so they basically because he was almost killed in the Holy Land. And then they killed his father as well.
Yeah, like I said, this is where I had some confusion. Because it almost seemed like, at first glance, the way you were describing it, it almost made me wonder if Doflamingo was playing them from the start.
Wait, no.
But wait, like I said, first of all, I had forgotten what you had told me, that they had been there when he saw his father. And also, if you look closely, this might just be a mistranslation more than anything else.
Maybe mother. Maybe it's mother. Maybe it's mother.
Maybe, but I think this is just a case of mistranslation, because if you look at Doflamingo, he's wearing different clothes. And I don't think he's got the bandages on his head.
Yeah, and the fact that... But remember, he was really upset about the mother part, so maybe it's a mistranslation of mother. Well, I'll take that.
Yeah, well, maybe, but the way because I was kind of following this briefly on Arlong Park, the discussion for it, and I think the general consensus is that this part was after he tried to take his father's head back to Marijoa. Because remember, that's one of his things. He tried to take it back.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because yeah. Okay, I see. Yeah.
He killed your father. Well, like I can't. Yeah, so I think that's just a
Oh yeah, because I thought this was okay, yeah, because I remember that the previous flashback was when they actually first met him. This is when they were waiting for him to come back, I guess, from trying to contact them.
Yeah, because you can see Doflamingo's wearing different clothes and other things.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, I changed my mind. Well, and they killed your father as well. No, but they know that. That's definitely a mistranslation, though.
That's where my confusion was. The first time I read that, I was wondering if that meant Doflamingo had lied to them too. Like he was playing them from the very beginning.
But they were there. I remember specifically them egging him on to shoot the dad. You remember that too, right?
I kind of do now. Like at least I remember them commenting on it. And then we basically go into more of Doflamingo's upbringing, quote unquote, while they pretty much do for him what the admirals would do for Celestial Dragon, pretty much just destroy anything that he dislikes. Yeah. And pretty much they are in fact bowing down loyal to him. They're going to make him the king of the sea.
Yeah, actually, now thinking back, were they actually there? I know they were. The panels were in the flashback. I don't know if that's just Doflamingo thinking to himself, them thinking of what they were saying in doing that.
I remember one of them was there. I remember Treble was there commenting on it, but also neat little note right here. They call him King of this Sea. Remember, this is like something like 30 years ago. This is before Roger, so they didn't have it as King of the Pirates. Yeah,
well, Roger got there first. So what do you say to that, Doflamingo?
I wonder if he I wonder if he actually is pissed about that, come to think of it.
Because Roger was the strongest ever, so...
Yeah, and we know that he was there when Roger was killed, too.
And I have another question. How come Doflamingo, despite his power... I mean, I know a Shichibukai is still powerful, but how come he never became an emperor?
I'm not sure. I think what it is... Maybe he wanted some kind of legitimacy to his power.
Yeah, I was thinking that because he wanted to become a... It's basically he became the king of... Dressrosa again, so that's political power. You can't be a pirate emperor and be in that position.
Well, yeah, exactly. And also, like, there are hints that the pirates might be indeed a lot more powerful than that, because, like I said, the one he does not want to do is tick off Kaido.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's actually for a guy who's supposed to be king of evil. I mean, he's afraid of someone else. Isn't that a big deal?
Yep. And then, like I said, at this point, Treble also reminds us that his knot power is also very flammable. And that's what he's about to. But then again, Law, like defiant to the end, pretty much tells him that Treble's the only one who thinks that Doflamingo thinks anything more of them than as a convenience. Like, from where I stand, you and your attempt at playing the trustworthy staff leader are nothing more than the foolish flailings of a puppet whose strings Doflamingo is happily pulling. And he's getting pissed, and Doflamingo's realizing, perhaps a second too late, that he's baiting Treble. He's provoking him.
Because he's stolen his room. Oh, he's got his room up. No, he's got his room up, but he's going to go into his room.
He's creating one. He's about to get right into the spot for it.
Yep. And he's trying to finish Law off by basically running at him. And... Chung-chung-chung!
Law pretty much uses his own severed arm to slice right through most of Treble.
Oh, yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah. And I think it frees... Like I said, it just looks like it slices him right in two, but this is kind of where we learn the secret to his power.
It's obvious he's not Logia. He's just coated himself in the snot.
Real quick, one little thing that you might not have picked up on here. When Treble gets cut, he screams out like, Pika! That's the exact same sound that Tontado were making when he was stomping on them before. The sound that he mocked, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That's hilarious.
And that's why we get like a brief little cut to Tontado. It's like you're all suddenly looking in that direction. I really can't explain it other than my heart suddenly feels lighter. Like, we got our vengeance.
Karma.
Yeah, there you go.
Karma's a bit...
Yeah, let's see here. And then Frankie's pretty much like...
That's actually kind of funny.
Yep. Yeah, no, like that. That's just like... It's a small little aside, but again, it's not pointless just because it does add to the scene as a whole.
Yeah.
And then Frankie's pretty much like telling him to get out there. They destroyed the factory. They've done what they need to do. And then when we come back, we see that Treble is actually a skinny old man. Like, all that big old fat body of his was just his mucus power coating. Which is actually very clever, if you think about it, because like, it tricks people into attacking him the wrong way. Like, Luffy thought he was a Logia, for example.
Yeah, but he's not. So yeah, man, this is awesome. So he's like, but keep in mind, still flammable. So he lights it up. All that nuke is up and explosion, and we don't know what will happen. But something tells me Law's not gonna die. Even though, dude, Law's been like destroyed at this point. How is he still?
I know that's something that was commented on with Arlong Park as well. Like pretty much like every other chapter so far has ended with some kind of cliffhanger of is Law actually dead? I mean, because like we got this one. What was it last week before or something? Like last week was when he was gonna stomp Law in. I think week before that was when we saw like Law's quote unquote dead body, things like that. And then pretty much like I said, it's
but it's not like.
Go ahead.
Oh, you say?
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's not like I was just gonna say it's not like Byakuya when you were just like, just please die, please just do it. Because remember that long ass like 10-chapter wait of is Byakuya dead?
Is this during Vandenreich or earlier?
Yeah, Vandenreich. Remember when Byakuya was like destroyed by Asnote, and you just like
the first attack? That's right.
Yeah, and he was like there was like this 10-chapter wait. It's like, is he dead? It's just like, no. This one is pretty like at least stuff is happening.
Yeah.
But I don't think Law's gonna be dead. Cause remember he said like a quote was like I can't face my crew like this. Yeah, I gotta face them eventually or something like that. So
like I gotta do some damage or I won't be able to face my crew.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I think that his meeting with his crew is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Come on, that'd be kind of a dick thing to do. Not let him meet his crew.
Yeah.
Again.
Hey, like I said, there is one thing that kind of came up with this as well in Arlong Park is that like it kind of goes against with something we saw earlier when Usopp attacked him. Like he was like a leaf shuriken thing that appeared to cut him right in half at the waist. Of course, that could just be him jumping up and dodging while he's still in the goose suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's pretty much the accepted thing on there, but still, it does kind of seem to contradict that.
Yeah.
Like I said, and that's easy enough to explain. I don't think anyone's going to be focusing too much on it.
Yeah, so overall, it's a chapter that I just kind of feel bad at this point for Law, because I mean, come on. I mean, he got at least he did something. At least he beat someone, because then he was able to damage Doflamingo and basically beat Treble. So now it's basically a one-on-one Luffy versus Doflamingo.
Yep. And also, I know we actually said it outright here, but basically at the very end of it here, it's like Treble is. I didn't realize his lighter was his staff, by the way. But anyway, he's using that to light him to ignite all the goo around him and Law and just blow the whole place up. And even Doflamingo is pretty much screaming like, "You damned fool!" Like, and that's pretty much where we end. Like pretty much like Treble pulling a "taking you with me" moment.
Yep. So yeah.
Oh hey, I just realized something. You remember what these guys are called? Like what they are? Like the seats, the club seat, the art seat.
Yeah.
Do you know what else you can call a seat?
What?
A chair.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just had to get that in there.
Is this gonna be a running gag?
Probably not. At least maybe for this week, but I don't know about beyond that. Just because, I mean, it was still pretty funny. But anyway, let's see here. I just had to get that in there. Alright, so anyway, that's the end of the chapter in this case. Like I said, it was definitely a good chapter overall, I think.
Yeah.
Also, the first comment on Manga Stream was something I forgot to mention myself. Treble has no place calling anybody a snot-nosed rat.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Anyway, go ahead. I was interrupting you right there.
I think I was just like, yeah. I mean, I feel bad for Law, but at the same time, though, he did all he can do. He's done a lot. Everything, despite being badly beaten like over and over again, he's done a lot, a lot. Oh, and apparently Monet and Sugar are sisters.
Really?
Yeah.
They did have a similar hair color. Come to think of it, where'd you find that out?
Yeah, it was on Twitter, but it was in the author notes or something like that.
Okay. Ooh, that reminds me, actually. I don't know if I told you this, but apparently I read that in the SBS for chapter 71 or something like that, or volume 77, I think it was what it was. One of those. He made a mention of the author of My Hero Academia, because apparently the author of Hero Academia submitted fan art to One Piece way back in the Alabasta arc. And now that same person now has his own manga running right alongside One Piece.
Hey, that happens,
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool, I thought, just because it was like a neat thing on here. Here we go. So, yeah, it's the SBS volume 77 on here. That might have been where you found the thing about Sugar, too.
Yeah, because I saw the tweet, I think, so. But yeah, Monet and Sugar sisters, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it says here. Actually, here it is. And like, there's volume 77. It's on like the One Piece Wikia. It's like, Corazon is 2 years younger than Doflamingo. He died at the age of 26. So Suguru and Monet would end up joining after this incident. These two were rescued from an extremely misfortunate environment by Doflamingo himself, and as sisters aged 9 and 17, they resolved to throw their lives away if it were for the sake of family. They were provided with devil fruits after joining.
Sugar's the 17 one, right?
Actually, could be actually.
Yeah, because Sugar doesn't. She's a lot older than she seems, as they said.
Well, but at the same time, if she ate the fruit at age 9 and didn't grow from there.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah. Anyway, like it says here, you see, Doflamingo is very observant of the environments that people grow up in. And that's true, actually. He does seem to pay close attention to that when he chooses his crew.
Yep. But I think in the end, the Straw Hats still win.
Oh yeah, because Luffy. In a way, I think probably because Luffy doesn't pay attention to the backgrounds of the characters, so it kind of means more from him.
He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, nope, I want you. Get in now. Even though they do have awesome like background stories, you know.
Yeah, but like I said, it's like
sometimes.
The whole fight with Arlong kicked off for no other reason than because, and I quote, "You made my navigator cry." He knew nothing of the backstory, like Zoro and Sanji and Usopp did, but Luffy didn't care. He did not get involved at all.
Yeah, what happened to Arlong anyway? Was he in jail?
As far as we know, he was arrested. We haven't heard from him since. All we know is that the last we ever saw of anything regarding him was Hachi breaking out of the prison ship.
Because I do know that he's not Impel Down, otherwise you see him.
Yeah, he might not have raided Impel Down.
He might not have what?
He might not have raided Impel Down.
I think raided it.
Like he might not have been dangerous enough to like take all the way there when they could lock him up within some other prison.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not worthy. He's not worthy because that piece of crap. Anyway, so I think that's about it for this chapter, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I said, the chapter. Like I said, it's an action chapter, so outside of the fact that there was a lot of action, there's not a great amount to comment on. Other than, I do like I said, I do like the fact that we do see that the executives have been like his single most loyal people all along. They have been with him since day one. Like when Doflamingo said Virgo was with him the longest, he wasn't kidding.
Yep.
I wouldn't even be surprised if he actually does consider Virgo like the closest thing to a peer in the group, because they looked like they were about the same age.
Yeah. But he's gone now, so too bad.
Yeah. Like I said, these guys are definitely like loyal there. Before we go, let's take a look at the comments here for the chapter on Manga Stream. Let's see what this is. It's here. Also, by the way, I thought that occurred to me while we were talking about this. Law did more while on his back than most Bleach characters have done on their feet.
He doesn't even need a chair. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I remember they try to keep giving Law the chair, the heart chair.
Yeah.
He doesn't even need it. Doesn't need it.
Nope. No chairs for Law. He's powerful enough without it. Take that, Aizen. Anyways,
oh my gosh, are we on like the #1 Bleach wanted list or something? Hit list?
If we aren't already.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Anyway, actually, another one comment is just a lame pun. Gotta hand it to Law. He certainly knows how to make the best of a sticky situation.
That's so bad, but it's so true.
I like the next comment is like world's slowest clap.
World's slowest clap. Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, and then like there's another comment talking about the pig ya thing where like he makes the same sound as the Tantara.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I said that's something I found after the fact myself because I wasn't paying attention to the sound effects much, but that was a nice little touch. Alright, so yeah, I think we're all good to go here. It's like that was One Piece chapter 782. Yeah, 82. Evil's Champion. Title subject to change when the video actually comes out, because I always wait for the actual official English so I can comment accordingly.
Please support the official release.
Yes. In the words of Team 4-Star, please support the official release. Yeah. See in the link there where you can support the official release as well.
Yeah.
And all right. With that, take us away.
Bye.